Welcome back, Mr. Manivannan. Bescom had advised big industries to set up captive power plants at one time. I remember. How many have installed?
Actually, sir, not much. I should say, if you convert into percentage wise, less than 5% of the industries have their captive power plant.
Oh.
The reason being, it is very cheap to buy power from Bescom than have the captive power plant. Now, who have got captive power plant are those who cannot afford interruptions. If they can afford interruption, that too for a longer duration, then they don't mind buying power from Bescom, because we sell it 5 rupees to 6 rupees, whereas a diesel plant costs 10 rupees per unit. So nobody wants to invest in that. Software companies who cannot afford interruption even for seconds, they have no other option but to put a backup. But what they do, they put a backup not for 24 hours. They make it only for 1 hour, 2 hour, to manage the interruption. There are some more industries like a steel plant where they cannot afford this type of interruptions, the huge quantity. They have no other option but go for their own plant. They have put it. All the steel plants, they have their own captive power plant. Otherwise, others are not going for it.
Mr. Manivannan, with seeing this power situation, shortage of power, why don't you make it mandatory for industries to have captive power plants?
So it's a very good suggestion actually. They are saying that if you have to go for captive power plant, your cost is so high, we won't be able to compete in the market. That's what they're saying. But I think this topic should be discussed further, and we should ask the industries to go for, particularly when they go for a heat load, what they call it. When I give electricity, people convert into heat, convert into light. They convert it into light, there's no other option, they have to take the electricity only. But heat, probably they can go for the captive power plant. This should be discussed in a wider forum, and people should come forward and say that, yes, my cost on electricity is going to be 10 rupees. Start from that and plan the business. Then there won't be any problem in
Will
that.
you be meeting the industries on this count?
Actually, we have a regular interaction with them. I will make it a point to discuss with industries in this point also.
What about the proposed, again I am going back to the Bidadi plant.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you say a little more? Is it true that the government has told the industry that to increase the tariff to rupees 7 instead of now it is 3.6 or something?
Sir, actually in the industries it will come to around.
What has been the industry's response to that?
I had a privilege of interacting with the industries actually on a forum called the Bangalore BCIC. They say that.
BCIC.
Yeah, I have talked to them. They are saying that, look, we will positively look into that. That's a word they use. We will positively look into that, but provided there is no interruption at all. So they say that we don't want to enter into that. Tomorrow then you start putting interruption. Where will we go? So they are also right.
Mr. Manivannan, that was the promise you are making.
Correct.
You purchase power at a higher cost,
Correct.
we will not interrupt.
Correct.
So what is the problem?
Right, but the thing is, the credibility of the government, or the credibility of the company at stake. Now they think that, okay, today you promise, tomorrow if you don't provide, what is going to happen? So we are trying to work on a mechanism by which that they will be sure that they are going to get uninterrupted power. Like, whatever comes in Bidadi, we promise that we will not give it to anybody else. It's only for you and for only selected number of customers, so that tomorrow they don't say the load growth, I have to cut the power actually. So mechanism should be worked out actually. Beyond the process, the government is also looking at it in a positive manner actually. If we get indication from the industry, so we are going for 7 rupees, yes, we will be moving ahead fast in that.
So Bidadi will be some kind of a captive power plant for Bangalore?
Oh yeah, right, you have put it in a very apt manner actually. Captive power plant for Bangalore for those who can afford to pay.
Afford to pay.
But sir, 7 rupees is better than 10 rupees actually.
That is true. That is true. But then if you get uninterrupted power,
Yes,
uninterrupted
yes.
power supply.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Mr. Manivannan, you had expressed desire to introduce franchise system in Bescom, which would entail involvement of private sector in some part of the work, some sort of outsourcing. Any headway in that?
Sir, actually, this franchisee model is not new. It has been introduced called micro franchise in the rural areas. What we do is, we give one feeder line to a particular person who is recommended by the Gram Panchayat, who will take care of the total metering in that, and he brings the money to us and gives us actually. Franchise means basically, you do not invest any money, you only do my work. On my behalf, you do my work and give the money back to me. And you will get a commission for that. This is something which is can be termed as a privatization actually. Privatization is where they take over my asset, they run it, they make profit out of it. So here the person doesn't make any profit. He collects the money on my behalf. He is like my agent. He collects, gives it to me, it takes a salary for that or payment for that. So this idea we are thinking, but the problem is in a city like Bangalore actually, if you go for the franchise, the companies are saying that look sir, we won't be able to do much because already people are paying the amount. Unless there is a qualitative improvement in the services. So qualitative improvement in the service needs investment. When investment comes, nobody comes without anything. No free lunches. So we are little, I should say, careful on that. We don't want to rush into things actually. We wanted to have a proper debate on that. Think about it, then only introduce it, because these are the utilities issues which touch the public. Public should be told about it. They should take a decision actually, not us.
Mr. Manivan, what about the long pending smart grid project in the electronic city?
Sir, this is the smart grid project. Actually, it's not pending. It has started. The issue is the total money is coming from US state. So they have their own norms which are very strict in selecting consultant. Now, after almost 6 months, they have finally selected the consultant. The consultant will start advising us how to implement it. So this is a pilot project involving 19,000 customers of Electronic City. So this will take another 2-3 years to come to a particular stage. This is basically a technical demonstrator to see whether this smart grid, what they call it, which is nothing but a real-time balancing of both demand and supply. It is basically putting the entire network on the computer. The computer will sense what is the demand, accordingly it will take the supply. It will like balancing dynamically. That's what the circuit does. We want to see technically whether how much it's viable, what are the bottlenecks, what are the snags that are going to come. So once we are through with it, then probably we go for a financial model where we'll call for a tender and ask people to come and do the work.
How long will it take, Mr. Manivan?
Sir, this technical demonstrator will take another 2 to 3 years.
Oh.
And after that, the smart grid. Another alternative is being thought about now, because what you are thinking that the same exclamation I also had when my people said it will take 3 years. I said, oh, 3 years. So then we thought about it. We are thinking, why we have to wait for this project to end? Simultaneously, we'll ask somebody else to come and do in some other place also. At least I'll have 2 options actually. Whichever is good, I can scale it up. Karke. So we are also thinking about it. Only thing is we don't want any private companies to come and invest. We want any government-owned company. We are looking for government-owned companies like PTC, REC are there in Delhi. We are trying to get them to invest and show that it works or not.
That's good. Mr. Manivan, there has been a suggestion from the industry that BESCOM should adopt the Gujarat model for giving free power to rural consumers and farmers only during non-peak hours and levy traffic if they wanted quality power during peak hours. Have you given thought to it?
I think it's a very good suggestion. Only thing is, when I give power to whom I give power, particularly for rural areas, we are bound by the government regulations. The government probably in its wisdom thought that why we should differentiate between urban and rural. Let us give power to people when they want it. That could be one reason. So far we have not got any instructions. Tomorrow if we get an instruction from the government to do that, we'll be happy because we'll be able to break even actually. It makes financial sense. But whether it makes social sense, that one have to think about.
But why give free power? At least free power during non-peak hours is fine. But at least charge them during peak hours.
Yeah, the government actually
at least subsidized.
Yeah, it's not free. Indeed, for every unit consumed by a farmer, though he does not pay, the government pays on his behalf to the company. In fact, we get every year around 1,500 to 1,500 crores only subsidy from the government.